User left your channel.
And we will be jumping into the next game now, hopefully. The next game is going to be the Manchester Derby. It is going to be Manchester Penguins versus Manchester. Manchester, we saw in our first game, they came out with the win last tournament, and we saw them dominate the Kittens in the first game. So how do you think this game's going to be here?
Yeah, so Penguins, obviously not one of the strongest teams in the Super 8. I believe they had to play for their place in the last end of the last split. However, Manchester looking absolutely on fire. It has to be said that Manchester Penguins has a new jungler who's actually a Diamond 3 jungler, so that could be a really positive change to their lineup. And it's really nice to, have a change up to a roster, because just the dynamics of a team can totally change. And beforehand, Penguins actually look pretty strong in their synergy. They have some really class players in there, so it would be nice to see how they fare against their rivals, Manchester.
Definitely, and I know that there's a few players in Penguins that are not very traditional players. I know that their top laner really likes Janna Top. It's something he plays a lot in solo games, something he's actually really successful with. We saw it a few times last tournament. I'm curious to see if we'll see that Janna Top. I myself haven't actually seen it before, so I'm really excited to see the possibility of that. But I know that they've got a few other characters that they like to play. The AD carry is notoriously known for his Draven and how much he loves Draven. So we might even see Draven. I haven't saw Draven for a good while since the nerfs to his passive, but it'd be really good to see him again as well. So I'm quite excited for this match.
Yeah, and they play strats that are not conventional, and as you say, he plays Vayne and Draven, which are two super carry AD carries, which matches that synergy of the Janna in the top lane. Once Janna gets some gold and has some great AP scaling on her shield and her Monsoon, it means that your AD carry is actually very, very hard to kill into the late game, as well as she has great lane clear, wave clear with her Hurricane. So be really different and really interesting to watch, especially against teams such as Manchester, who are so strong.
Definitely. I'm curious to see the bans again on this team. Obviously, we had that Zyra ban from before. I expect to see the Zyra again here, if I'm honest. I do expect similar bans, possibly that Ahri, that Zyra, and maybe even that Lee Sin coming out from Penguins here. But I don't know whether Janna's going to be like the Janna and the Draven and that. I don't know if they're going to be people that will necessarily be banned just because they play them, because it's not something that a lot of people fear. I mean, Draven isn't as strong as he used to be. Janna Top is a little bit gimmicky, so I don't think it's anything they'll really fear. But I'm curious to see whether they do try and bend these bans around what the players are known for.
Yeah, and with Manchester so confident in themselves, I don't think it's going to phase them. Their top laner, fine. He didn't put on the most dominating performance, but he definitely didn't lose that top lane. And I'm sure he has it in his ability for Manchester to absolutely destroy this game. So it'll be really interesting to see between the two teams. It might be that Manchester Penguins have actually extended their roster since earlier in the Newell and have become quite a bit more conventional. While we're here and we're waiting, if you want to learn anything more about the Newell, please visit www.thenewell.com, or alternatively visit www.facebook.com/thenewelluk. Have we got anything to add before we're about to get into the lobby?
No, just follow us on Twitter as well at the Newell. We do apologise for the overlay. Obviously, we would like to have a nice overlay and stuff for you guys, but we're having some problems with it this week. It should be fixed for next week, but we do apologise for that. But that's something that won't be staying like this. It shall obviously be fixed, and hopefully we'll have that next week. Other than that, we've just come off a small break, so we are back now. This is over the 3 weeks. We're here on the Sundays. Keep in touch on our Facebook and Twitter, and on the website. We'll post all the times and everything there for you guys to catch this. And if you're at a university, if your team isn't signed up for this and that, we've got a lot of teams there, then join in. It's not just the Super 8 who play. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There's hundreds of teams here. So get involved and take part. We're always looking for the teams like Nottingham A, like KVGS Kittens that don't get known from the Super 8. They come up from these second divisions and then they show dominant performances like they have done. And you never know who may be the next team there. So
yeah, definitely. And do we have a ETA on going into this?
We are all in the lobby now. Sorry, everyone is in there. We're just waiting for them to start it. They seem to be having a little man of war here. Nice to each other. In fact, there we go. We are actually getting straight into the game now. So we do have the banning phase now coming out, and it will be Manchester starting with the bans. So we'll see what they come out. I do still expect the Zyra from Penguins, but we'll see what Manchester pull out first. Manchester pull out the Vi here. Just to let you guys know, we'll probably be referring to Manchester Penguins as Penguins and Manchester Uni just as Manchester. So Shyvana is actually the first ban for Penguins here. We saw the dominant Shyvana performance in the first game from Manchester, so I'm not too surprised to see that ban, are you?
No, not at all. And the Vi is a constant kind of threat to a mid lane, especially with the assassins still being strong even after the nerfs. Shyvana, I'm half surprised at the fact that she's been banned out so much. She's taken such a resurgence that she's straight away pulling bans to herself. So it's a bit odd to see her banned out each game, but obviously they all rate her very highly.
Definitely. The Vayne ban is coming down as well. She is a very annoying AD carry. She gets fed. Very, very strong, very hard to deal with late game. And it is another favourite alongside the Draven on the Penguins side. That Lee Sin has been banned away from the top lane. So 2 bans that we expected. We did expect the Zyra as well, but the Zyra actually not been banned. So Zyra we could see being a contested pick here for the teams. The Sivir ban and Fizz are the last ones to shut out as well. Sivir, since the WeWork, has been quite good. We haven't actually seen any Sivir plays or bans at the moment, so that's one that I didn't quite expect. But that Fizz, obviously very dominant in lane, one that we're quite used to. Caitlyn getting insta-locked here for Manchester. Very, very good carry in lane. She's very aggressive, very good poke, and all-around strong champion. They play her a lot in competitive in Korea, US and EU, so very good first pick there. We actually may see another Olaf here as well on Penguin side.
Yep, I mean, Caitlyn, Manchester's shown time after time again that they can dominate with her, so really good first locking. Probably anticipate that Manchester Penguins perhaps play champions that do get quite heavily harassed by the Caitlyn. Obviously, the Vayne and the Draven with fairly short range. Lee Sin banned out against the Manchester, who's probably one of their best jungle picks. Jarvan being locked in right here, so obviously a really safe jungler who has really good ganking potential, as well as is that a Mordekaiser actually locked in? I'm slightly delayed.
I did think so, but it was changed at the last second. I was quite nervous as well. I was excited, but no, it will be switched to the Nami. On the other side, that Zyra is insta-locked for the support. So they have got that Zyra Caitlyn lane. Very, very strong lane to go against. The poke and the harass is very strong. They have great catch potential, and it's going to be a really difficult lane for whoever Penguins do send bot. That Nocturne is well locked in. As you said, Nocturne's very strong at the moment, and his comeback out is a very dominant jungler.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Zyra is just going to be so strong coupled with that Caitlyn. The amount of harass that comes out of both of them will be a lot for the Nami to handle. Lucian being hovered over here, he has been picked up a lot in the OGN, and with that Triforce Bloodthirster build, is starting to make a bit of an appearance in games. His damage can be high, and you know, if he can get a couple of kills early, then his snowball potential is fairly high. It will be also interesting to see that being picked with the Jarvan. If he locks him in successfully with the Cataclysm and he can lay down his ultimate, that's pretty hard to hit. The Draven actually being Hartford and locked in here, which is what we anticipated seeing before the start of the game.
So we'll get to see that Draven Nami play, which isn't too bad actually against Caitlyn. Zyra. He's not the strongest because he depends on catching their maxes, and Zyra obviously having the roots can stop that quite a bit. But if he does get the aggression on, we will see quite a bit of damage go down, especially with the Nami with her Aqua Prism. Ori also been knocked in. Oriana, sorry. Again, another solid laner. We saw a lot of very high pick and ban percent ratio there. Very strong, especially with the Jarvan ball delivery system. Very strong there. On the other side, Renekton. We've seen Renekton every single game today. Still very dominant laner. Very contested pick. He's going to be in top, and you're going to have Kassadin mid. Kassadin, we haven't seen the Kassadin so far, but very, very popular in solo queue. Very strong champion. What do you think we'll see with this Kassadin pick there?
Yeah, really strong against the Oriana with that silence. Can totally disrupt a team fight. Often Orianas have that obviously moment where they know that their shockwave is going to be absolutely disruptive, and if the Castin spots exactly the same moment and can manage to get on her with that long silence, then it can cock up a whole team fight for her. Nidalee being hovered over here, so obviously that's really strong against the Renekton. Probably building ED, I'd have thought, at least at the start for the harass, going for that frozen gauntlet, which is also going to really hinder that Caitlyn later in the game. Irelia, in fact, being switched to and locked in right here, so really strong bruiser. Obviously not been played too much recently, but still, you know, with the current meta of the Triforce being so strong, her damage is so high at the minute.
Exactly what I was going to say. I'm a massive fan of VG, and I don't know if any of you or you yourself watch Wicked stream, but he's been going back to that Aurelia that he is known for, and he has been dominating with her since the Triforce change and since the meta of the assassins has got a bit nerfed. Aurelia is very, very, very strong in that top lane. She picks up a few kills. It's not going to be the easiest against Renekton, but Aurelia doesn't actually go that badly against the Renekton in lane. She just needs to play a little bit safer, and if she can go even and get them kills, then she'll be in a great position to do a lot of damage onto that Caitlyn, onto that Kassadin. I'm really excited to see that Aurelia pick.
Yeah, definitely, and we're just about to go into our 3-minute wait right here. In terms of later in the game, who would you say has the dominance? You've got a couple of late game champions on both team here. What would you say, just from looking at both teams, if they both play it similarly in the early game, who has the advantage?
Honestly, I think both teams have the potential, and it depends on how they do early game, because both of them snowball a little bit. If Aurelia picks up a lot of kills, and Kassadin, or if Kassadin picks up a lot of kills, I think that they could be very, very influential on the team's success. If Kassadin gets fed and shuts down the Oriana, I see them going and basically dominating that game. If Oriana can contain the Kassadin, not let him get a lot of kills, and if that bot lane doesn't do too much, then I think that we will see Penguins actually coming out on top there. I feel that they're rather even. They don't have one team that massively stands out and says, "Oh, after this amount of time, if this person can farm, then it's over." I just think that there's some very key champions here whose performance is really going to influence the later games.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of we've said this every game, but I mean, level 1 invades. Will either team go for it, in your opinion?
It's curious, this one, because there's no direct CC. I mean, you've got the Nami Q on the other team and the Zyra root, but you don't have like really, really strong. I mean, Kassadin's level 1's good with the silence and the Zyra root. Caitlyn is very good at a range. They don't need to really overly commit because they've got the Caitlyn poke. They've got the Caitlyn traps as well. So if most of them, obviously, Caitlyn level 1 will take the traps if they play safe. She'll be able to get them down, and I expect them, to be honest, to just play safe from there. I don't expect to see a very dominant level 1 start. I don't expect a team to just roll into the enemy jungle. I think Caitlyn will get a trap. She'll be putting them down, watching out. Jarvan has his flag to check. Oriana has a ball. I think that most of these teams are just going to be very careful and not want to give up the first blood, just as we've seen in every game so far. The Super 8 teams know how much these games mean. They all need these wins, especially early on in the tournament, and I don't think that any of them want to risk the chance of losing just because of a level 1.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing is, obviously, there's that massive one-mode combo coming out from the Oriana with the Jarvan being the delivery system right there into the Draven ultimate and chain CC from the Nami. How are Manchester gonna manage to disrupt that and stop that from destroying their team right
That's
here?
going to be massive. It's really going to be one of the key points to this game. I feel that the strongest way to counter that is just to be completely spread out. I mean, they've got a Kassadin who's going to be wanting to roam anyway. They're not going to be wanting to have an all grouped up team. They've got the Nocturne who can ult and engage himself rather than let them engage. And that's what I feel it comes down to, who engages. If Penguins manage to engage with that ball delivery system, with the Cataclysm, with the Orianna ult, then I feel the team fight's going to go strongly in their favour. However, if Manchester manage to engage with the Zyra ult on top of it, with the Nocturne ult and Renekton getting in there, then it's going to be in their favour. But definitely Manchester are not going to be in a position, or not going to want to be in a position where Jarvan can just jump in, Orianna can ult, and they'll be at half health or less before the fight even starts. That's definitely not where they want to be. This straw poll of the viewers is actually 50-50, so the viewers look like they are split. They don't expect this to be a complete washover as some of the other games that we saw from Manchester, both last season and that dominant start the first game now. 50-50 split here, so quite curious myself to see what goes on. Teams are fairly even in Champions, so I'm really excited for this game.
Yeah, definitely, and lots of skins coming out from both teams right there, including a legendary. Manchester actually just taking it with the 3 skins to 2, so straight away they score at least 1 point right here.
Yeah, extra 500 gold for them.
Just about to start, the Kassadin taking his time and loading in. It's interesting to see here that the Orianna actually hasn't opted for the barrier. Do you think that ignites the right move versus Kassadin?
Normally, versus a Kassadin, no, if I'm honest, because normally the reason an Orianna wouldn't take barrier, one of the reasons a player would prefer to take ignite in their head would say, I don't need barrier as much because I'm Orianna, I have that utility, I have a shield, I can shield myself anyway, so I can go for that ignite. Kassadin, as you says, he has that silence, and it's a long silence when he gets high levels, and she's not going to be able to use that shield. She's going to be very vulnerable. Kassadin has a lot of burst, and that barrier, that instant shield, would have been very helpful. She won't have that protection, so I don't know if it's the right choice. It will depend how she uses it, but I definitely feel it is a risky choice.
Yeah, and especially coupled with that Nocturne, it's going to be such a vast amount of damage that can be put down on her. The silence coming in and the Nocturne actually being able to shield that shockwave away in case she uses it defensively. If they want to, they can stick on her and really spoil her game for her right now.
Yes, definitely. We are just jumping into the game now, so this will be Manchester versus Manchester Penguins, our final game of the night. It's been great to be. Thank you all for watching. So shout out to all you guys. Couldn't be here without you. So next week, spread the word. We'll have the overlay sorted and that. But it's been great to be back, and we'll get straight into this final game here. Both teams, Kaz's been actually taking a while at the fountain, so he's not going to be with his team as soon as he possibly would have liked to. But it does look like Penguins are going to split up. Nami's going to go and ward that blue buff and going to join her team over at the red. It looks like they're just going to wait and see if Manchester actually invade here. And if they do, there's 4 of them waiting in the brush.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they've probably know each other's strengths and weaknesses right here, and can and plays. So they may be aware that they like to get the early red ward onto this side of the map. But Manchester just actually playing it very safe, not even wants to get the vision out right here. Zyra is waiting in this top area to probably get that early ward down for her top lane, as we saw in the last game. But you know, it's a lot to sacrifice, all standing in that bush and not getting any vision out yourself just to try and make a catch.
Definitely, I do feel that Zyra is actually in a bad position. Manchester aren't going over there though, so she will be fine, but it is a bit risky. But as it's exactly as we thought, both teams aren't really going to want to dedicate to a 1v1, or a level 1 fight, just because of the potential to throw an entire game off of that. They are too important. It does look like we will see the lane swap. There's actually 4 people waiting in this top lane here, but Renekton isn't even at his lane, so they won't be able really to catch anyone out here. So it's a lot of time wasted for Penguins. In fact, they're just going to straight up invade the blue here.
Yep, and the Nocturne also pinging. There is a ward on that blue buff, so Aurelia is going to spot it out right here. So I think it's going to be a blue for a blue. If this Aurelia can disrupt, as this as the Caitlyn and the Zyra have totally neglected her, this could be a first blood right here. So engage going down from the Nocturne, damage going down onto the Aurelia. Nocturne being brought low by the blue buff. Is forced to flash over the wall. The ignite ticks onto him and is very low, potentially having to take her back here before he follows. Aurelia also being forced out of lane right here because of that engage, giving this Caitlyn free farm, and she's going to actually lose out on a few minions right here.
Definitely. I mean, that Aurelia was recalling next to a wall, but Nocturne didn't choose to go on that. She did burn her ignite, but Nocturne burnt his flash, which is really going to hinder his ganks pre-6. I mean, it's hard to hit the fear anyway over the 3 seconds, as you said earlier, but that flash does help, but he's really going to struggle now. So no teams giving up a kill. It was a bit risky, but both teams did come out of it safe, just other than that CS lead. We do see the lane swap as well, so we're going to have Draven Nami in the bot against Renekton. We're going to have Aurelia at bot lane against the Caitlyn Zyra, sorry. Who do you feel comes out in the 2v1 lane stronger here, the Renekton or the Aurelia?
I mean, it depends on whether this Jarvan can make the gank at the top lane. When you're stacking this many minions at the top lane, you're wanting to get that gank from the Jarvan, and you know Renekton's not going to lose out on much experience here. A lot of damage going down on him from the Draven. Aurelia, however, also being taken down very low, and she was actually forced out of lane due to that early gank. The Jarvan coming in now, Renekton's very low, so it's very vulnerable. A huge stack right here. Renekton managing to flash and slice and dice away, but too much damage coming out, and the Jarvan picks up the first blood. Look at that huge minion wave as well. He's going to miss out on an awful lot of experience right here.
Yeah, really nice play there. Would have been nicer if the Jarvan didn't pick up the kill, the Draven did, but not too much of a big deal. It was a nice attempt for the escape, waiting for the slice and dice, then flashing for the second slice and dice, but that flag toss with his EQ combo on Jarvan was perfect, and he did get the knock up and secure the kill. Aurelia, she's not doing too great, but she's not doing too bad. She has the benefit of being able to just jump onto the CS and jump straight out without the cooldown with her Q passive, which means it won't go on cooldown if you get the kill with it. So in that respect, she does have an advantage. She is going to go in quite low there and have to flash away. Caitlyn does flash after her. The pill over Peacemaker does land and get the kill. So that is 1 for 1 on both teams at the moment.
Yep, and you know, Nocturne's actually been able to sit in this jungle and I'd have thought farm out and get a lead here, but it doesn't seem to have that good a effect. So he's not going to get that level 6 too long before the Jarvan. And Jarvan has a really good clear time, to be honest, with his E and Q doing quite a bit of AoE damage.
See the lanes start to normalise now. Draven and Nami do go back, and on their back they do return to the bot lane, which, to be honest, is possibly good for Aurelia, especially now she's just died. She's going to struggle a bit. Casting actually going really deep onto this Orianna. He does get taken quite weak. Ignite goes down. Orianna flashes to get the last auto attack. She will walk away alive. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Zyra's actually killed. The exhaust goes on to Caitlyn. Caitlyn is going to go down here as well. So that is actually 2 kills there picked up for Penguins. So that is great for them. In fact, 3 kills, sorry. I forgot about the Zyra passive. 3 kills picked up from them and 1 for Manchester. So Penguins actually taking a lead now.
Yep, and this is really surprising. Some really good pre-5 minute plays from Penguins, and they really must have had the strategy coming into this. They're aware that I won't say that Manchester's top lane is a weak component.
Nocturne's actually taking really low here. The Aqua Prism does land onto him. He's going to go really low here. Nami's still trying to push a bit, but he will get away. Not enough damage from the support and the jungler there to kill him, but presses him away from mid, and that's basically just really going to push that Nocturne, back quite far. He's going to have to recall now. He's going to go to his wolves, but I mean, to be this dominant this early on, they are actually going to go for Dragon now. But Penguins are just have complete momentum. They're really coming really strong here.
Yeah, definitely, and that stems from the fact that Nocturne started that blue buff a bit of a miscoordination. He didn't have that help straight away, and the Aurelia pushed him behind, meaning that they could take the advantage in the top lane, get that kill onto Renekton, and snowballing it by stripping away the global gold that the bot lane would have matched with getting their turret versus the Aurelia. Draven and Nami managed to get into that lane before it was even taken below half HP, so really good lead made by them, and they snowballed it so well by taking the dragon afterwards.
Definitely, and now we see a position that Manchester don't want to be in. That Kassadin's getting outpoked and out damaged by the Orianna in mid. He's behind on the CS and he's behind on the kills as well. You look at all the lanes now and they are actually struggling quite a bit. The junglers are going to be very influential here. But something I really didn't expect, actually Draven now is going to go in onto Caitlyn. Zyra lands her roots onto Nami, but not much going to happen there. They both escape. Zyra's just going to back away, so's Draven here, just going to catch Zaxxas, go back to TS. And we're in a position now where Manchester are going to have to be on the defensive, something we haven't actually seen in them yet.
Yep, and which way that goes for them. Nocturne actually coming into this bottom lane, ulties onto the Draven. Nami actually taken very low as well, is forced to flash the pilt over Peacemaker, picking up that kill again, and the double kill coming out from the Caitlyn as the Jarvan just manages to miss taking that ace in the hole by the Caitlyn.
A little bit of miscommunication there, I think. If he would have said a bit earlier, I think he could have landed that flag combo and blocked it, but that is another 2 kills been picked up by Manchester. So the gold, 1.5k gold, still lead for Penguins, but Manchester coming back with an answer to this, saying we're not out just yet. So you know, it's still a very even game.
Yeah, and Manchester are so strong going into the mid and the late game. You need to keep that big arms reach with them. Renekton, obviously, I was saying earlier that I think it's unfair to say that he's a weak component, but definitely struggles in the earlier game. We saw last game that their jungler focused on keeping him ahead, and I think that's really where why he dominated that top lane so much. I think he definitely struggles in the earlier game, but a brilliant late game player, and we'll see that going into the mid and late game.
Yeah, bot just trading, but equally there. Nami missing, landing her Aqua Prism, sorry, Zyra missing her roots. But in this bot lane, it's got to the point now where Draven's actually being more aggressive onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn still though, she's got 3 kills, so even though Manchester's got the 4 kills, all 3 of them are on Caitlyn. Meanwhile Penguins, it's quite spread out, so that Caitlyn's going to be very, very strong, especially in the lane there. We do see in mid, Kassadin is still struggling a little bit with this Orianna, and Jarvan and Nocturne, they're too busy trying to go to every lane, they're not able to help out the particular lane. I'm sure this Kassadin would want the jungler to be at mid to help him start picking up and getting back into the game, but it's not happening. Jarvan does actually use Cataclysm onto Renekton. Renekton flashes out though, so nothing going to happen at top lane. Meanwhile, we're just trading poke again at bot lane. Nami taken quite weak, but she has got that sustain with her heal, so she'll be able to heal herself back up. That ultimate burn from Jarvan there for the flash, would you say that was worth it, or would you say that's something you needed to save for these team fights?
I mean, the dragon's going to be up shortly, and it wasn't great. In fact,
a lot of action, sorry, going into bot lane here. Zyra does land the root, but Nami lands the Aqua Prism onto Zyra. The wave does go down, it misses, but they will finish Zyra. Caitlyn's taken very low. Zyra's still got the passive up. The tower shot does go on Draven as well. He will survive under 100 HP, so they walk away alive and pick up another 2 kills for Penguins.
The exhaust just slightly late from the Zyra right there. Didn't quite expect the full aggression, and the Draven managed to flash and pick up that last kick.
Nocturne just took out mid as well by Orianna. She did use her ultimate. Jarvan was there for the backup. That's another kill to Penguins. I have to say, I didn't expect the game to be like this, but Penguins are dominating at the moment.
They are, and they're doing a really good job of keeping the lead after that little blip in bot lane with a double kill going to Caitlyn. Orianna with double buff is absolutely brutal, especially when she's got that ignite under her belt that I questioned earlier. Kassadin trying to actually get some good poke off onto her, doing that successfully. And Kassadin, you know, he's not managed to get his rower yet, even his catalyst towards his rower yet. once that's up, he's going to have a much better time in lane, have a much better sustain.
We did actually try and go on into this Orianna, but Nocturne does ult in and he gets the kill, so really nice pickup, but Kassadin is denied the kill again. Nocturne picking it up, but Kassadin, as you just said, he needs to get started. He needs these kills. The assist goal is still helpful, but he really needs a bit more than that.
And they're heading straight to Dragon right now. They think they know the timer. It's 40 seconds, so they know the rough timer here at the vision being stripped away by Zyra. But the Nocturne, actually, once he gets a couple of kills, it's going to be quite important, because that Draven struggles with people that can get straight on him. And if he has a strong Nocturne and a strong Renekton that can jump on top of him, you know, the Kassadin doesn't have to be particularly fed. Kassadin does a really good job of just coming in to the late game after picking up his couple of items, his rower.
Yeah, definitely will still be useful, just won't do as much damage as we hope. Nami Wave actually used quite early there, doesn't pick up anyone, but the Cataclysm does go down to Zyra. Zyra ult, it does hit Jarvan up, but they will pick up the kill on Zyra. Jarvan and just having a little bit too much presence there. Caitlyn not able to get into the front of that fight and just having to leave Zyra behind just to die there, so it's another kill picked up.
Yeah, and Zyra sitting on a 3 death streak right now, so obviously not worth as much gold. The good thing is there for Manchester is the fact that Manchester just managed to get enough poke there to make the Dragon quite a risky move to head towards. So sacrifice that Zyra, probably not the end of the world. Caitlyn's still able to farm up this lane.
Yeah, it's funny as well, because we were talking about how influential that Zyra pick was, how contested and how much Manchester wanted it. They haven't had it took away from them this game. They finally got it, but it has been completely shut down. As you said, that Zyra's 0-3. She hasn't really been able to make any plays, something that last tournament we saw Zyra picking Manchester be completely dominant, making all sorts of plays, but Penguins doing a great job at shutting down that bot lane.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, Manchester are never out of it, in my opinion, but the more you can kind of...
Root actually lands onto Draven, but sorry, he's taken very, very weak. He will have the barrier here. He's going for the kill on Zyra. Zyra will be picked up. Caitlyn's exhausted. She's very weak. She actually aced in the hole at point blank range. She gets the kill on Draven, and she'll back away. She won't be able to die here. She's under tower. Nami doesn't have enough damage to finish her off. So that is a 1-for-1 trade. Support for carry. Nocturne's here to clean up as well. Nocturne will try and get the damage down onto Nami. Jarvan's there as well to try and defend, but he won't have enough presence or damage to do that. So that's 2 kills picked up by Caitlyn. This Caitlyn's now sitting 5-2 in bot lane.
Yeah, and she does a really good job every time I've seen Mr. Awesome T play. He does a really good job of just sitting back and picking up those kills.
And Orianna did just ult in mid, to try and get onto that Kassadin. Kassadin flashed at the last second, and Orianna ult is down for this dragon fight. So there's no way really he'll be able to back them up, so they could possibly contest here. But it looks like the dragon is going to go over to blue side. Jarvan's got that flag, he's actually going to go over. He does smite it. Nocturne smites a bit early there. So that dragon is stole by Penguins. It's a 4k gold lead almost now. They do pick up the kill on Jarvan, and Kassadin actually gets a kill on Orianna, which is great for Manchester, but that dragon is took away from them.
Yep, and they managed to pick up 2 kills over the Kassadin, and picking up off the Orianna and the Jarvan going down, but it's not very often you actually see just a student miss a smite. He's actually a very good player. And he's going to be kicking himself at that one. That could have been the real turnaround there. We see that the gold difference between the two teams is 2.5k right now in favour of Manchester Penguins. And when you're talking about probably a grand going up to Manchester Penguins, that's the difference between the two teams here. So yeah, they could have had their cake and eaten it as well right there.
That would have put them even, if not almost even, if not even. Sorry. So definitely very, very big thing there. Definitely got to be kicking himself for that. But that does now mean that Penguins are just going to have even more gold, even more free roam of this map. Really taken very low at top. Renekton actually ignites her. She does get away, but forced out of lane. Took very low here. The Renekton Aurelia is something we talked about a lot early game. Aurelia hasn't actually been able to do much so far. She's building towards her Triforce. There is a pause going down here, sorry. So while that's sorted out, we'll have a little talk about this. We spoke about how Aurelia is very, very good if she gets building and if she gets into that game. she hasn't really been able to do much so far. Do you think she's still going to have that impact, or do you think that will affect her negatively?
Well, interestingly enough, the Renekton, rather than rushing that Sunfire Cape, has actually decided to go Brutalizer. And that's a bit of a chink in Aurelia's armour, really, right now, is that he knows that she's going to be rushing that Triforce. So if he gets a bit of damage under his belt, and then follow it up with that Sunfire Cape, he's going to actually stand a really good chance of 1v1ing her, even as strong as that Triforce is. And, you know, Renekton was put so far behind by that level, by that initial gank for the First Blood by the Jarvan. He's done a really good job to keep up with the Aurelia and just keeping the game. So, you know, she's gonna have a good chance of getting on top of the Caitlyn, but her damage is going higher and higher. 5 kills right now, keeping up really well with the CS. So she's going to start building some big items. And at that point, if Aurelia can't get the assassination onto her, she's going to fall really fast and probably become useless in a team fight if she can't manage to pick off one for her death.
Definitely. She said 5-2 for 1 on that Caitlyn. She still hasn't finished any top tier items though. And that Draven's got his Vamp Scepter, he's got his Greaves, and he's got his IE. Caitlyn, she's sitting on the components, but she hasn't actually finished anything yet. So we'd expect her to obviously get that on her next back. I'd imagine she's sitting on quite a bit of gold. I'll have a look here. She's only sitting on 900 gold actually, so that should be enough to finish it just. But she still hasn't got those key items as of yet. The kills as a whole, Nami's got 2, Draven's got 3, so there has still been similar sort of kill numbers for Penguins in that bot lane, just Nami's picked some of them up. And I do feel a little bit that the Jarvan and the Nocturne here both having very similar presence, but I think that Nocturne has had more lane presence than Jarvan, mainly because of just how great his ults are for ganking. But he's still held it in, and the other lane that we were going to say is very, very beneficial for each team and will greatly affect the late game is this mid. Kassadin and Orianna, they're both sitting not high kills. Orianna's 2 and 3, Kassadin's 1 and 2. So still not greatly fed on either, but who do you think's got the strength going in, looking at their items and looking at them right now at this point?
I mean, at this point, we're talking in the next 10 minutes, this Orianna is really key to how well Penguins are going to move forward. She's gone for the Chalice, for the Chalice of Harmony. So she's got this magic resistance, and then rather than finishing that into a Holy Grail, she's decided to go straight for the Rabadons. That's just to be able to 1v1 this Kassadin and to make him fall behind in these team fights. As soon as he finishes that Rower and then getting that Archangel, he can start to stack his Riftwalk, and his damage will get to the point where he can just destroy that Draven or the Orianna. So the next 10 minutes is going to be crucial to Penguins for the Orianna and the next dragon that comes up.
Definitely. I have just been told, looking at the chat, that this is actually, the pause is just a toilet break, so it shouldn't be too long. We'll be jumping straight back into it in the next minute or two. But it's not gone yet from Manchester's grip. It's still been quite a dominant performance from Penguins, but after the dominant performance, Manchester's come straight back with 1 or 2 kills. They're trailing behind a little bit, definitely still in this. We'll get back into the game now and see Draven and Nami putting a lot of pressure on this bottom turret. In fact, the Brutes actually land on Nami, but a really nice ultimate will push them away there. She did have to burn the ultimate to survive there, but at least they don't lose the kill. But that means for this dragon fight that you're on about, for this next engage, that Nami wave won't be up.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, the Orianna's not actually farming as well as I'd like to see Orianna farm. You can't sniff at 130 CS in 17 minutes, I appreciate. However, the Kassadin's doing a really good job of keeping up with her at this stage. I'd like to see her harass him off, as she has this early lead in ability power and items. Kill actually going to the Draven on the bot lane, on the Zyra, them getting a bit too aggressive there, and the Jarvan obviously being there for the gank really helps.
They're actually carrying on pushing all the way there now. They're just going to push it back. That was a really nice pickup. Nami was completely outpositioned there, so just a really easy pickup for them. That puts them ahead in kills, about 3k gold ahead now. Necton's going to go in quite actually hard onto this Aurelia. She's going to get taken to just above half health. So still struggling that top lane. Jarvan comes in now to try and protect the mid lane here. They've taken a lot of poke. Just going to have a little bit of a face off, but neither team wanting to commit, especially into that tower when the game's still this close.
Yeah, and I was saying about the Renekton going for a Sunfire, it's actually opted to go straight for the Randuins, which,
yes,
you know, it makes perfect sense for us, the Aurelia and the Draven right here.
Definitely.
So he's doing a really good job of 1v1ing her in the top lane, and once he's completed that item, he's going to be able to play aggressive onto that turret. He has the sustain from his lifesteal, as does Aurelia, but I think once he gets that edge of the Randuin slowing her attack speed and her movement speed, any engages that she goes with is going to be at a real risk of the Renekton turning it on its head.
Definitely attack speed, movement speed, two things that Aurelia needs. A lot of, obviously, Wither skill standing with them to do the damage. So with that, Randuin's going to be completed, but even with just that Warden's Mail at the moment, it's going to be very, very strong against her. Jarvan did go up to try and do a gank then on the Renekton, but he has got a ward there, so we did spy it just smartly back to his minions and just did the recall to go back on. So we do see him now not actually completing that Randuin's yet. He's got another cloth, and we do see a little bit of aggression coming out from the Kassadin on the Orianna mid. Just going to poke her a little bit and then just back away. I'm not going to go all in because Nocturne is sitting in that brush waiting for him to come back to lane, but Orianna's not going to do that. She's just going to go pick up the wolves and just go back to mid after she's cleared this.
And that Kassadin's just continuing to stack his tier. It's at just over 500 stacks right now, so if he so wishes, he can probably turn that into an Archangels in the next few minutes.
Yeah, they will take this mid tower though now, which does give them a nice bit of gold to try and even it out. However, Jarvan gets a really nice combo there. Gets a knock up really fast. Orianna burst that Zyra right down. A lot of damage going on to the Draven here actually. Draven's still in the middle of it all. He does get the kill onto Nocturne. He's still alive. So Draven is just alive there and picks up a kill. Really nice play from them and really nice engage from that Jarvan.
Yeah, and they've got the turret, so they're fine for gold. It depends if they manage to keep this mid lane alive. Already is there. Renekton's going to take this top turret also, so we're just going to trade over gold right here. Not a great amount of gold difference being made here. Dragon's up in 40 seconds, so everyone should be up and ready for that dragon, and that's going to be a crucial fight. They were lost in a bit of a lull in vision there, Manchester. An aggressive play onto the Caitlyn right there, really going straight forward. As Jarvan has actually caught them split on this turret. A lot of damage coming out on the Orianna and the Nami as they're forced back off. The Jarvan being brought down and the Aurelia is chased off. That's going to leave this dragon open, which is up in the next 10 seconds. Only the Draven left in full HP. Orianna on half HP as well.
Yeah, and Renekton and Nocturne actually come in here trying to catch them while they're recalling. The Penguins do notice that something is up, then no one's showing, so they do back up away from that. Do not want to get caught out, especially with Dragon Live. As you said, a Dragon now or one team fight, whoever wins the next team fight against the Dragon is going to have the advantage here. Manchester are moving up towards this Dragon. They're going to start it now. They've got the 4 people there, and they're just going to... No, they're not going to come and contest it. Zora's just clearing out the walls. They're going to keep getting it, and that's free. Not contested at all. Penguins had to back because of the harass they took beforehand, so really nice pickup for Manchester there.
And I mean, Mr. Awesome T, Manchester's AD carry, is so cool under pressure, you know. He baits it every time. He has such awareness on Caitlyn, and he escaped on maybe 100 HP, but, you know, he allowed that engage to happen, and it actually has really disrupted Penguin's swing right here. They've not managed to carry on with the momentum. They could have just taken the second turret right there, backed off, forced them to actually challenge, forced them to fight for that dragon, and then continued with that lead. In fact, instead, they went all out, Aurelia and Jarvan going very deep onto that Caitlyn to try and pick her out, and it meant that they were just caught on top of that turret right there.
Definitely, Caitlyn again a champion that can poke with from a great range, but also you're not too scared of going because she's got that 50 caliber net to escape. A really great move, and he has been phenomenal in his position and in his catch-ups. So really great play from the Caitlyn, exactly the same as Draven. We saw in that last fight, Draven got in there and escaped with low health while picking up the kill, so both the AD carries playing very well here. And now that the Dragon's been took for Manchester and they are back into just over a 2k gold lead, again both teams now more than ever are playing very safe. They're making sure they know where each other is, making sure that they've got a bit of vision on the map, and they do not want to get caught out here.
Not at all. I mean, Castin's just
Aurelia may be a bit overextended there actually. No, Zyra doesn't land the route, so she will get up.
Yeah, and Cassidin just there opted to go for the Rabadons rather than building it into her Archangels. Him doing a really good job of just clearing these waves as they try and push hard onto this mid lane. But it puts them in a really tricky situation. Nocturne's ever present threat to that Draven. If the Castin manages to get another jump forward and get a lot of damage, the Nocturne can get straight in there and assassinate him. So I'm doing a really good job of stalling this game and picking up those items coming into the late game.
Definitely, and although we haven't seen much action from the top laners, this is where they both start to get quite scary at this point in the game. When Aurelia's positioned herself in the jungle away from the 5v5 engage, she can just go to the back, and she still has very good burst. She's got her Triforce, she's got the Doran's Blade, she still has very good damage to just dive onto the Caitlyn, dive onto one of the squishy characters and nuke them straight down. And same for that Renekton, very in your face, very high damage. Castin actually here is going to go with the ace in the hole to try and poke down. The last tick of Ignite will get the kill on Orianna. That Null Sphere does do the damage just for that last tick be enough. So they will pick up a kill and a tower here. The gold difference is just under 1k now for Manchester. Really great play, and the game is closer than ever now.
Yep, and Aurelia is trying to push down this side turret to recuperate some gold right here. Renekton has bought home gods. They might be able to defend this. No, that's just going to drop to the Aurelia. So it's going to take that gold lead again. But Renekton's actually doing a really good job of just keeping that Aurelia at bay. You know, his item build is so tailored to dealing with her that she's not going to be as big a threat split pushing. Usually if you have that already in the top lane and she gets a bit ahead, you start to really make it hard for you to actually make a decent engage with the split push.
Definitely, Aurelia is actually going a little bit deeper. She keeps pushing the lane very, very hard, even when Manchester are rotating over to her, and she's even counter-jungling when her team is still in their jungle. So she has got away, but is being very, very risky there. This Dragon is up in just under 2 minutes, so I do expect the teams not to push up too much, not to be too risky here, just to try and wait for Dragon to come up, and then I expect a big fight around Dragon.
I mean, I think at this stage, Manchester are potentially looking for the Baron. They're actually a very clued up team. They look at the bigger picture and they're aware at this stage that a Dragon might not change it. You know, the gold difference currently isn't going to make a huge difference to their item, and the Castin's actually at a stage where he can make assassinations and be a real hindrance, juking people around. You see there, the Shockwave was waiting to try and catch him.
I don't know if that was a misclick or if that was intended for the Castin, but that Shockwave did absolutely nothing for the Orianna there. Nocturne is going to engage this. Draven taken very low again. The Root does land on Draven as well. A really nice Zyra ult. Draven goes down. Jarvan's stuck very low. This Castin and this Caitlyn are dominating. Caitlyn's still at full health. She hasn't been touched. Aurelia is at the back though, and Caitlyn's on less than half health. Aurelia's going to jump straight onto her. She is going to get rooted though, and the CC is just too much there. Aurelia's going to go down. They're going to chase this Nami a little bit, but they're going to walk away. All they lost there is Nocturne, who engaged. That Caitlyn had full health until the end of the fight, and that Cassidin hasn't been touched since the start.
Exactly, and you know, they play it so well. Their synergy is just perfect, and their communication is just awesome. You know, they knew that they could turn on that Aurelia. They knew that the Orianna and the Nami was out of it right then.
They do pick up a kill on Orianna as well. The stun under the tower from the Renekton, really nice. And this gold now actually in favour of Manchester.
Yeah, they're just such a dominant force into this late game, and if you don't have the items just to turn this team fight, it's so hard unless you're as good as them. in the communication and the synergy to actually keep up with them. You know, each laner on Manchester's team are so just competent and know how to play from behind or in front, which is great for them.
Yeah, now Draven has actually finished that Triforce now, something we don't always see on a Draven, but it's very, very strong, and it looks like that Penguins are now very fearful of this this option of Baron. They're trying to get the vision control around Baron again, and just checking it, so they are very aware now that a Baron could completely throw the game for them. Manchester are going to pick up this dragon, so they're going to go 1k gold ahead now. It's a very, very close game. I don't think we've had a game this close all night. The Nottingham game was very close, but this one's been so all over the place. We've seen both teams make some amazing plays, and you know, coming into this, did you expect this from Penguins?
No, I mean, they showed real good strategy in the earlier stages. Manchester just showing better form in being able to siege. A couple of dodgy decisions from Manchester Penguins has just thrown it. However, Manchester A has been put on the back foot for quite some time during this game, so it's been really enjoyable to watch. A good engage coming out from the Java, followed by the Army ulti. Lots of damage coming out from Manchester onto the front line of the Penguins. Draven is allowed into the team fight, almost dropping the Caitlyn right there. Irelia is forced to turn and run away right there as the rest of the team are cleared up by the Nocturne and the Renekton.
Kassadin actually rift walked out of the Draven ult just as it was about to hit him, and he was on about 60 HP. That Kassadin would have gone down. He rift walked out of the Draven ult and he null speared back onto Orianna, and got that kill. Really nice play from Kassadin there, really nice duke. They do now root Irelia, and it does look like they may be able to actually close the game here.
Yeah, and you know, Manchester just managed to duke a lot of the engage coming out of Penguins, and that was the key to them winning that team fight.
That is the GG then, guys. What a great game, what a close game for this Manchester derby here. Manchester do walk away with the victory. That's 2 victories we've seen them had tonight on the stream. So the winners of the last tournament still looking very strong. Early game though, Manchester Penguins, very, very dominant, very strong team. It just shows these new teams, and even the teams we saw last season that weren't particularly dominant then, there's been a few weeks we've been away, and they've practiced a lot more. They've had these new ideas come in, and all the teams are looking very strong. This is going to be a really good tournament these next few weeks, and I can't wait to see how it pans out.
Definitely, and you know, the gap between them has closed up dramatically, and it's just going to build up to a really interesting split this time around. A couple of new teams, both looking strong, especially that Nottingham A beating the second seed. KVGS probably still need to do a bit of work, but you know, it's early days for them. So it's going to be a really interesting next couple of weeks. For everyone that tuned in for the whole of the night, a big shout out to you guys for making it happen.
Thank you very much, guys. Hope you enjoyed the casting. I'm Shadow, first time that I'm casted these games here. I hope that you've liked it, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching the New All again. Obviously, thank you guys for coming to support the UK esports scene. Get the word out there. If you're at a university, join the team. Like us on our Facebook page and Twitter. Vote the post on Reddit. We're just trying to help the UK esports scene as much as we can, and it means so much to us that you guys come and watch these games. So thank you.